Hi, it's Liz. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do a video about winter decks. I picked out 4 tarot and 4 oracle for decks I'll be using this winter. And so I'm thinking, the end of December when we have the solstice, to January, February, and to we have the spring equinox in March. So let me start with tarot first, and then I'll go to the oracle. So the wintry deck that I picked out that I'll be using, and actually I already have started using for December, is Tarot Vintage. This is a RWS clone. It is published by Lo Scarabeo. And, when I started seeing this deck online, I said to myself, Liz, you do not need another RWS clone. Don't even think about it. But there was just something compelling about this deck. I was just very attracted to the unusual color palette. And I thought, this really would make a great Smith-Waite deck for the winter months. And so I did get it. It was inexpensive. So this is a deck that I'm enjoying. I really like its color palette. I find it intriguing and different, and it really is a nice wintry kind of cold feeling deck. And I will be using this. Well, I already am using it in December. So that is the first deck. The next one up that I've kind of designated as a January deck is the Star Seeker Tarot by Nikki Ferrada. And again, I think for most of these decks, it's the color palette. So I do think of January as blues and purples and silvers and white. And this is the Sun card. And look at this Sun card. Look at the sun in this Sun card. It really reminds me of what the sun looks like in the wintertime. It's kind of a little washed out and not that strong, vibrant, bright yellow, orange, gold that we see. It's a little bit more washed out and weaker looking. And there's I really love this. I love this 3 of Wands so much. It's a little different perspective, but to me it has a cold, wintry feeling to it. Same with the Moon card. So yeah, there's quite a few cards in this deck. Oh, this one I just feel like this guy looks cozy. He's probably got a fire going in the fireplace. Again, it just has this kind of dark, wintry palette. So that is the Star Seeker Tarot by Nikki Ferrada. And then for February is kind of an old standby classic deck. Put this here. I have a little teeny table. I'm trying to organize multiple decks here. So this is a classic deck. This is the Vintage Aquarian Tarot. This one I got from someone that was selling off their collection. And it's from 1984. And I really love this deck quite a bit. And for me, I always pull this deck out in February. It's the color palette. So for me, February is pink and purple and red and white. Those are the colors that I kind of think of different colors for each month. And so I think these decks are sort of reflecting some of that feeling that I have. Also, I think because there's so much white space, it almost has like a cold and snowy feeling. I mean, that Queen of Pentacles is very wintry looking. And again, the sky has that kind of pale, wintry look to it. And the people are dressed in cloaks and hats and coats and you know, yeah, that doesn't look summery to me. that the darkness of the color palette and the warmth of the clothing, to me, really speaks to winter. I love that one, High Priestess. Yeah. So that is a deck that I like to pull out in February. And again, I feel like it's the color palette, the white space, but also the fact that everyone's dressed in these heavy clothes. They look very like they're wearing their winter gear. So for March, from the beginning of March until the equinox, I'm going to be using this. You know, I'm going to be using all these decks all the time because they're favorites of mine, but in particular, the months that I'm mentioning. So this is the Raven's Dream Tarot by MJ Cullinane. And again, I think it's the color palette. So we're getting a little bit more green as we're coming into the last month of winter and the first month of spring. So we have, you know, some sheep there. I love this pine cone. I get a wintry feeling from that. So again, I think partly it's the dark color palette. It just has a wintry feeling to me. This is a beautiful deck. I'm really enjoying using this deck quite a bit. And I have to say, this is an indie version. I bought this directly from MJ, and she changed up her cardstock. Yay! So she doesn't have that slippery, slidey cardstock anymore. This is almost a little bit rose petally, but it shuffles like a dream. And I have small hands, so I shuffle sideways on big decks like this, and this just shuffles like a dream. Oh, Raven's Dream. Perfect. All right, so those are my 4 tarot decks for winter. And let's get into the oracles. So I'm going to start off the month of December with this one. This is Earth, Moon, and Shadow. This is, oh, I love this deck. This is by the folks that did the Winnie the Pooh. So Serafina Mesa, and the art, I don't know, I know Serafina was behind the Winnie the Pooh deck, or Winnie the Pooh Tarot, something like that. The artwork on this deck is Kat Amsel. I don't know if that's who does the Winnie the Pooh deck or not, but it's a beautiful deck. This is so incredible. But look at, again, there's these very wintry feeling cards. You know, almost makes you cold to look at it. And look at that. That is Winter's Bone. So, of course, it's got winter right in the title of it. So yeah, again, I feel like this deck has this sense of a little bit of bleakness and coldness, and this kind of stark, wintry feeling to it. So this I'm pulling from. I pull from this deck all the time, but in particular, I will be bringing it out once we turn to winter in December. So for January, I do think of January as blues and whites and silvers. And so this deck came to mind, The Endless Oracle by Eric Mayle. This is a lovely deck. And it can be read in sequences. So you can put cards out together and just tell a whole story. But does this not look like winter? I'm really feeling January for this one. I have not used this deck a real lot. And so I'm glad that I've kind of picked it as a deck to use for a particular month, because I do want to use it for the whole month and really kind of get to know it better. Again, we have that wintry color palette. So that is my January oracle. And then for February, I'm going to be pulling out, and again, this is a deck that I use year-round, Soul Trees Oracle by Allison Williams Yee. And this is a deck, 2016, yeah, this was the first edition of this. It's actually called the Deluxe Edition. Yeah, because it doesn't come in this kind of a box, really lovely box anymore. So these trees look very wintry to me because they're bare. They don't have any leaves. And this is just what the trees look like around here now and until the end of March and into April. We have bare branches. This is a lovely deck. The guide, it's not even a guidebook, it's a pamphlet, just has a couple sentences about each card, but I don't really use it. I just go by the keywords. Very wintry. So this is a deck that I'm putting aside to work with in February. And then finally, the oracle deck that I will be using in March is this one, The Wisdom of the Cailleach. So, for any of you who watched my culling videos, you may recall that I put this in the culling pile. And I rethought it because it's hard to get this deck. And I really do like it a lot. The reason I thought I would cull it was because it is, it does sort of fill the same niche as the Weavers, but then again, it's different. And it's Celtic, and I'm looking to work with Celtic decks because of my Scottish ancestry. This is Irish, but still Celtic. So it just comes in, this has got the little guidebook in it and the cards. It just comes in this little envelope. And so I was thinking, it doesn't take up any space whatsoever. So I'm going to hold on to it for a while longer. I'm going to give it a whole month. And I think I probably will end up keeping it. So again, it just, oh, see, rest. That's what we're doing. That's what we're meant to do during these months, right? Again, we see these beautiful wintry moons and skies and color palettes. Luna? I was hoping that wasn't going to happen, but it did. So here we see, and I think of crones as associated with the winter season. In this deck is, you know, all the people in this deck are crones. So that is the deck I'll be using in March, from the beginning of March until we get to the equinox. So tell me, what are the decks that you think are particularly wintry? Have you picked out some decks? Do you have decks that you like for winter use? What do you think of any of these decks in terms of winter decks? I hope this finds you well. Peace, love, and many blessings to you.